I can't believe her. What the hell is going on? What are you doing right now? Put clothes on. What the hell, babe? Ma'am, screw all of y'all. You and I are diving into another explosive Cheaters episode with Peter Pankey. We meet Alex Montoya, a woman deeply worried by the growing divide in her relationship, determined to finally uncover those dirty dealings. Alex called on Cheaters for clear-cut confirmation of this suspected infidelity. She and Mackenzie first crossed paths while working together over a year ago. Her partner was bartending, and Alex had just started. They clicked immediately, quickly becoming really good friends. The two began doing absolutely everything together. Eventually, that tight bond turned into a much more intimate, romantic relationship. As time passed, they started having sleepovers and cooking meals together constantly. Alex described it as though she had tumbled straight into a serious relationship without even fully realizing it at first. She knew the honeymoon phase wouldn't last forever, but felt like far too much had drastically changed over the last couple of months, especially since they moved in together. Their daily schedules completely clashed with each other. Mackenzie was simply no longer making any real effort to be a part of Alex's life. Alex admitted she just didn't see that sudden distance coming. Things just weren't clicking anymore. Something felt seriously, undeniably off. Here is where we uncover the secret second cell phone that Mackenzie owned. Even worse, that hidden device was flooded with active OnlyFans app notifications. Mackenzie brushed it off, claiming the phone was strictly for work. She told Alex not to worry, but that shocking discovery left her feeling completely devastated. Mackenzie insisted those OnlyFans notifications were simply from trying to support a good friend's personal page. She swore the site had absolutely nothing to do with her, but Alex simply didn't believe it, strongly suspecting her partner was totally bluffing. Alex realized that if Mackenzie was truly cheating, she would have an incredibly hard time forgiving her and finding a way to move on. She deeply wanted to say she'd be able to forgive and rebuild that broken trust, but she just couldn't make that guarantee in the heat of the moment. She felt the heartbreak of infidelity would simply hurt way too much to keep their fractured relationship going. She hated admitting it, but walking away might be the painful truth. Having secured the hard evidence needed to bring Mackenzie to swift justice, the Cheaters crew called Alex in to illustrate those illicit acts. Now let's watch Alex courageously step forward to uncover the truth. Hey there, Alex.
Hi,
How are you? Good. Good.
I'm doing okay.
Doing the best you can do right now, huh?
I'm incredibly nervous.
Well, you contacted the Cheaters team. Let's unpack this together. The investigative team really dug deep. They gathered the surveillance footage, ready for the painful reveal. The anxious boyfriend braced himself, signaling to roll the tape. The recording started. Right there on the screen was Kenzie. She hopped into her car. Nothing suspicious about that, right? It looked completely normal, but the undercover detectives followed. They tracked her every move until this unknown guy suddenly appeared. The boyfriend had no clue who this mystery man was, yet Kenzie was clearly meeting up with him. The two of them soon wandered off. Returning, they shared a very long hug. They parted ways. Nothing too crazy had happened just yet. Another day on the surveillance log, she was back in her vehicle. She suffered an unfortunate flat tire and quickly made a phone call. Anyone would assume she called for roadside assistance. But a little while later, an Uber arrived. Out stepped the exact same mystery guy they had spotted in that previous piece of surveillance footage. He slid right into the driver's seat, while she took the passenger side. The undercover crew tailed them directly to a local gas station. Mr. Handyman helped fix the tire, and then they hopped inside. They eventually pulled up to a studio. Bingo! She was topless. Maybe she hid the nude photo shoot. The investigation rolled on into the very next day. That night she drove off. Stick with me. This is exactly where the surveillance takes a very dark turn. The detective pointed, urging the boyfriend to watch the guy's hands closely. The devastated boyfriend saw it clearly. It was completely over the top. The betrayal was playing out vividly. The tension spiked as the cheating pair entered the vehicle, but they did not drive away. Parking near this dark and secluded parking lot, the windows quickly fogged up. Sometime later, she finally stepped out. She was clearly fixing her clothes there. The investigator stopped the playback. He urged the client to focus, asking if he remembered a very specific and damning phone call. This particular audio clip was about to ring a bell. Connected. He casually asked what was going on, claiming he'd call. He asked about her location and how her family was. She lied, claiming she was just finishing up at a work event. She casually mentioned she would be leaving soon. She promised to head out in 30 minutes. She insisted she was just wrapping things up. She even complained about how hard being pregnant was. He innocently said he missed her. You and I know the painful truth. She casually brushed him off over the phone, claiming they would just talk later. He promised to text, hanging up in absolute disbelief at her painful lies. He stumbled badly. You and I know this pain. The investigator called the whole situation entirely disgusting. The heartbroken boyfriend muttered that he'd been down this awful road before. The crew assured him he did the right thing. At least he finally knew the truth. They confirmed the cheaters were together at that exact moment. The van quickly rolled up to the scene of betrayal. Waiting just around the corner, the production crew prepared to pull up like they always did. He was firmly warned to get his answers without wasting precious time arguing with the guy. They breached the private photography studio, chaos erupting immediately. His girlfriend panicked instantly, demanding to know what he was doing inside the building. She frantically tried claiming the photographer was simply a regular work colleague of hers. The betrayed victim scoffed at them taking intimate pictures. She desperately begged to explain, screaming as the tense confrontation spiraled out of control. He relentlessly mocked the other man, who was now hastily throwing his clothes back on. The photographer insisted they were just doing a business shoot. He yelled, demanding why she lied if it was only ever business. The photographer defensively warned the TV crew away, claiming the bitter drama absolutely did not involve him. The crew fired right back, firmly stating he deserved being caught in the middle of this mess. The victim pressed him, but the guilty man just claimed to be a photographer. The boyfriend furiously questioned the so-called photographer and his extremely shady friends. He had caught his girlfriend exposed. Stick with me here. The victim realized he had been down this painful road before, screaming at the half-dressed man backing away. He taunted the frantic guy for suddenly deciding to dress himself. The panicking photographer begged them not to break his expensive equipment. The guilty man stammered, claiming he was only doing exactly what she had asked. The victim loudly scoffed at the utterly ridiculous excuse. The investigator forcefully ordered the lying photographer to step back from the deeply furious boyfriend. The guilty man was firmly ordered backward. The victim demanded space, aggressively pointing at the camera used for those pictures. He couldn't believe they were just taking pictures. Tensions fully exploded as the aggressive shouting rapidly intensified. The furious victim suddenly grabbed the photographer's camera. He raged about his girlfriend's secret photo shoot. His cheating girlfriend gasped. She pleaded rather helplessly. The determined investigator confronted the woman. The terrified photographer whined directly at the crew. He nervously denied knowing her relationship status. He questioned their actual romantic relationship. The victim demanded an honest explanation. The photographer yelled to protect his camera, still claiming it was all innocent. What do we think? He panicked, demanding payment for his seemingly precious camera. Someone asked about the paperwork. He called the whole situation complete bullshit, telling him to put it on his tab. We've all seen this heartbreak. She begged to know why he betrayed her after so many chances. He frantically tried to get dressed, begging to go home so he could explain absolutely everything. He claimed absolutely nothing was happening. He panicked, screaming that this was his actual life and his professional job. The camera crew demanded he pay out of pocket for the damaged gear, but she stubbornly refused to give them anything. He swore that wasn't happening, yelling for everyone to step inside his recording studio. He angrily insisted that he was running a highly professional music studio. Someone bluntly told Alex to find a better girlfriend, saying, It is what it is. He waited for her final answer, announcing he was finally going to put his clothes back on. He asked if her answer was final. He angrily ordered the guy to grab his girlfriend and get out of the building. She stood there in complete disbelief, shocked that they were all involved. He ordered them to dress, utterly stunned that Kenzie was caught up in this mess. She accused him of being high again, demanding answers while he played dumb and pretended he had no idea. She yelled at him to put his clothes back on and immediately get out of the place. She pointed away. He urged him to dress and talk, hoping she would finally treat him like a real man. He warned him not to talk to her that way. He fiercely replied he didn't stutter, calling the man completely disrespectful. He fired back that she was the one disrespecting his studio by breaking the camera equipment. She yelled that his blatant disrespect was ruining absolutely everything. He angrily waved them off, shouting goodbye. He told the women to leave. He shouted goodbye, threatening to send them a hefty invoice. Stick with me here. He demanded an explanation from both of those guys. The suspect asked what they wanted, acting like he was just chilling out. He demanded to know what was happening, threatening to call the police right away. He pointed out they were trespassing on private property, trying to act tough. He smirked, claiming that was exactly what he expected. He wished them a good night. She begged him to return, but he was completely done with this exact same exhausting cycle. He asked how many chances she needed to just tell the truth, despite his deep love. She cried out that she desperately needed the extra cash. He firmly reminded her that she could have easily talked to him about all of this. He insisted they could have handled the difficult situation so much differently. He admitted he never wanted to drag an entire reality television crew out to catch her. He felt he had no other choice. She walked away. Goodbye. He swore he couldn't even stomach looking at her face after what she had just done. What do you and I make of this? He couldn't look at her, yet foolishly hoped they would still work things out. She pleaded with him, swearing she had to stay in his life. He offered zero judgment for her final choices. If she knew the truth, her choice would change. He just wanted to go home. He begged to leave. You and I are watching this cornered suspect completely panic. The options were given: talk inside the production van or leave the mistress behind. He desperately tried negotiating, claiming they could still somehow work this entire mess out, but she firmly refused. She was done and had to walk away. Despite his pathetic apologies, she was completely finished. Defeated. He pathetically pleaded with Candy again. She was finished with him, even as he promised to come see her later. He swore they would talk about everything, but she sarcastically brushed off his empty promises. He continued making desperate promises, while a bystander warned him against returning to the music studio. Furious, she screamed for him to back off. The confrontation escalated as she aggressively demanded he get completely out of her sight. She got the painful answers she needed and handled it well, except for breaking the camera. Total, absolute chaos. An embarrassing move considering the footage was his livelihood. The cameraman had a family to feed, but her raw, explosive anger made perfect sense. Anyone else might have reacted the same way. She demanded he step away from her car. He was reaping what he sowed. Honestly, who could blame her fierce, destructive reaction? She was absolutely stunned by the betrayal. She hoped to stay composed, but the crushing reality of his infidelity proved too intense. The investigator delivered. When the surveillance team finally approached them at the haunted house, she thought it was a prank. She never imagined being caught on a cheating reality show. The entire confrontation was incredibly shocking. Let's review this together. With the rival gone, Alex must now reframe her entire future. By the end of this investigation, we get a clear snapshot of Alex's new vision. But first, Brooke returns to explain exactly how her life has changed since the bust, since appearing on the broadcast. Brooke later admitted that when the production crew ambushed them at the local haunted house, she genuinely thought she was being completely pranked. It was incredibly nerve-wracking when the betrayed girlfriend approached, firing off intense, interrogating questions. Brooke had absolutely no idea who this angry woman even was. The furious girlfriend demanded to know who she was and why this affair was happening. She aggressively announced that she was his loyal girlfriend of 2.5 years. Brooke was completely caught off guard, speechless. The girlfriend screamed. She didn't give a single damn. Not one bit. She demanded respect. Looking back, Brooke admitted she felt more than a little pissed off. The public ordeal made her look foolish on television. Though she finally understood his desperate lies, none of his excuses made sense. She felt entirely confused, angry, and was desperate to escape the chaotic scene. She confessed knowing nothing about the other woman. Otherwise, the secret affair never would have gone that far at all. You and I both know that classic lie he claimed he was completely single. You and I are watching this unravel. Brooke realized it was. She thought they were completely finished. He hid the other woman entirely. So the ugly truth finally surfaced. The confrontation exploded. Angry voices demanded that he tell her the truth. William angrily demanded they shut up and let him speak. The victims fired back. He lived a double life for 2.5 years. Brooke demanded to know when he actually planned to confess. She wanted the truth. He swore he was going to confess soon, sparking outright mockery. Brooke insisted she saw zero signs. At least, not while they were actively dating. Well, maybe a few sketchy moments stood out, where he would suddenly act distant. He would often leave the table just to take a private phone call. She honestly brushed them off, assuming they were just routine business calls. Let's watch as Court Gable from Cheaters steps in, apologizing for the sudden camera ambush. He pressed Brooke on whether William confessed anything. She made it completely clear she would have dumped him instantly if she knew. Brooke refused to be a homewrecker. Now she definitely plans to keep her guard up. She vows to watch for those random clues. After that explosive confrontation ended, Brooke immediately severed all remaining contact with William completely. He sent her a single text message, desperately trying to apologize. But after that pathetic attempt, Brooke happily used her iPhone to permanently block his number. She felt incredibly sorry for Corin. She knew exactly how deeply disrespected she would feel if she were in those shoes. While she pitied Corin, she truly hoped the other woman had dumped William for good. You and I both know skipping your programming from Goldstein's means then everybody just loses money.